Yeah. I think I farted.
Wait.
What?
Got it. Nope, we're good.
Okay. I definitely farted. But go ahead with the intro. Sorry.
Welcome back to the show. It's Dogg and Casio, and you're listening to...
Oh, you didn't know?
How are you
Your
doing,
ass
my
better.
bud?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. It's a new year. It's a new year, new me.
It's a new dawn. It's a new day.
Oh, what
And I'm
song is that?
feeling
Oh, yeah, feeling good.
Little Buble.
Yes, Buble.
Little
He's so good.
Buble, baby. Huh?
Yeah.
Did you
Out
really
in the
fart?
sun? Yeah. So yeah, I did. It smells horrible in here. Look to your right. Look to your right, Casio. We are definitely on fire here at Oh You Didn't Know, the podcast.
Hey,
if you don't follow us on the hashtag YTXs on the YouTube exclusives, please do so. And my friend Casio is going to tell you what you can win.
You can't win anything. No.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
you can't win anything.
So you can't.
Hey, but Dog, hey, as this drops, man, you're on the precipice of Rumble weekend, brother.
Oh, I don't understand.
Hey,
I
is
have to
Rumble
take a piss test? Is that what you said?
Everybody know.
I'm ready. I'm as ready as I've ever been.
You're past that.
Okay.
For once in your life, you're like, please give me a piss.
I was the other day.
Yeah.
I walked in and everybody was in there to do it, and I was like, "You need me? You guys need me?"
Please
they were like,
tell
"No,
me you
no,
need me."
you're not on the list."
Here's my question, man. Mania is, of course, the biggest weekend of the year for WWE.
Right.
What's second? Is it Rumble?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's probably
starts
SummerSlam.
the year off.
Maybe
okay.
SummerSlam. Maybe SummerSlam is looked at as the another Mania almost. But Rumble is, those big four are always looked at as special. And so the Rumble has, and it has its meaning to take that to the main event of WrestleMania. And so you kind of watch that, and you want to watch now that there's stakes on the Elimination Chamber in Perth. You want to watch that too, like what's going to happen there. And so anyway, stories are building and intrigue is building, but Rumble definitely starts the road to WrestleMania.
Rumble was just me as a fandom. Rumble it just felt cool. You always, now, because all your friends and family, all your fans, we have our Rumble pools and you got betting on it. I
always love the surprises.
Yeah. That's what I mean. You don't know who's
Rumble
coming in. Like my second favorite has always been Rumble because starts the year off.
Yeah.
We're also, like I said, we got a pool going who we're rooting for. And then you never know. You're like, all right, I got number 17. And Carlito comes in.
Yeah.
And you're excited because Carlito's there, but you're mad because you're not winning any money.
You don't think he's winning. Hey, but let me ask you this, and this is interesting to me because everybody listening maybe does what you do. I have no idea what you're talking about when you have a pool. What does that entail?
So have you ever seen like a Super Bowl board?
No, I haven't. I'm not a sports fan. I'm dead serious. I know you think less of me now, but wait till you see me naked.
There's 30 spots in the Rumble.
Yep.
So there's 30 slots to buy. You will charge whatever you want.
Yep.
People can buy more than one slot.
Who usually does this?
You and your friends.
Can you not say due to legalities?
No, you and your friends.
Okay.
In my world, it's Eric Rottencrotch. If you're trying to get me to sell him out, he'll go to jail for it.
You know what? That son of a B Rottencrotch is always into something.
He's mingling and always it. So what you do is you buy whatever, $5 a spot, and then it's a random draw on numbers.
It's a random draw, so you don't get to pick.
Correct.
Okay.
So everybody buys in. So if I have 2 picks, I'll get 2 numbers.
Right.
And then it's a random
draw. But they're both random. You don't say I want 10 and 17.
No, because everybody would pick the end. Nobody would pick
30.
one.
Everyone would pick 30.
And so then you get your numbers, and so whoever comes out at your number is your person.
Okay.
For the lady side and the men's side, you got to. It's like football. The gambling aspect kind of heightens it.
Yeah.
We're watching anyway, but now we got $30.
I get that, and you're not losing. You're not betting the bank on it.
No.
You know what I mean? It's just a pool. But if you win, you kind of win a chunk of change, don't you?
You do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's $5 spot, 5 times 30,
Right,
whatever
right.
you take it. And so it's just.
Me,
that's always been my second favorite. Yeah, you have no concept.
I have never heard of that in my life. I've never. I didn't even know that when I never even thought about that in my life, and it makes perfect sense. Like,
God, I'm a mark right now.
No, you're not. You're a wrestling fan, and you obviously have a lot of friends that are wrestling fans.
Yes.
Because you put $5 in and you win a chunk of change if your
That's
guy.
what we all do.
Goes the limit, and goes the distance. So you got to tune in this time to see, and maybe you could let me know about Mr. Rotten Crotch's bet, and I'll drop a couple beans in there.
Well, look, man, Rumble is coming up.
I don't think I could bet. It would be like Pete
legal?
Rose. It would be like Pete Rose.
It's random though. It's random.
Yeah.
You're not like picking a win-loss.
Yeah.
It's random.
It's rando, as the kids
there.
call it. Okay.
Now, if we start betting on matches, yes, you're going to jail.
Okay. But
yeah, that's a fact.
But what if I know the outcome? Would you like for me to bet with you for that?
We will text off pod about that.
We were off /pod, and we will chat.
But seriously,
note to self: text Road Dog.
We are on ad-free shows, and ad-free shows. Top Guy Weekend. Top Guys are getting together for Rumble Weekend.
Yeah, and we're on the piss test of Royal Rumble, like you told me earlier.
So I'm gonna be there. We're waiting on your schedule. You might appear. We don't know.
I'd love to. I am busy that weekend with prior engagements.
Little.
But I don't know what my morning.
The Rumble you're going to be involved in.
Don't know what my morning looks like. But hopefully I'll be able to share it with you.
You can't come during the Rumble?
Well, I probably can. Truth be told,
You'll be
I probably
there.
could creep off. My job
there.
is not. I will be at the Rumble, but I could probably technically creep off. There are many good people in place who do their jobs. So me being there trying to do one of their jobs for them just pisses somebody off.
We don't want to get you in trouble.
No, I don't want to be in trouble. So anyway, I'll try to get over there in the morning. We'll see what we can do.
We'll see what can happen. We'll be there and hanging out and having a good time. Yeah. Also, speaking of having a good time, had a blast last week with our buddy AJ Francis.
Oh, happy anniversary, baby. Got you on my mind. Hey, we did have a good time with AJ Francis. I felt like I got to know him a little better too. And I'm looking forward to seeing what 2024 brings to him.
You know where he's going to be?
That's interesting. Everywhere.
Absolutely.
And if you didn't know, you had to call somebody. He's going to be everywhere.
Appreciate him joining us.
Yep.
As well. Let's get it started. We got a meme of the week. We have no idea what it's going to be. Producer Dominic D'Angelo
he's double D.
Throw something on the screen we've never seen, and we will react instantly. Here we go. Oh, freshman year versus senior year. It's Dogg in his cowboy hat versus Dogg in his play days.
Actually, the one on the left, the senior year, they cut out Snoop Dogg, who I was standing next to you in that picture, or I was standing next to in that picture. That was my DX. That's DX.
Is that the secret way to throw up DX?
I just did it different, like I always did this sometimes, just to be different. Now my daughter shoots me a bird like this. And the funny thing is, she showed me that very thing and then commented on it. It was like, oh my God,
She showed you the meme?
Yeah, that meme right there. So that's why I laugh so hard at it.
Is she like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Dad?
like you're Jiminy Christmas. She didn't say Jiminy Christmas. That's a word. That's my stuff.
Also, as we start off, we would like to get our 5-star review of the week. We encourage you wherever you consume this podcast to like, turn on notifications, subscribe, and if the platform has it, like Apple Podcast or wherever it may be, Spotify, the whole deal. Leave us a 5-star review. You could be featured on our 5-star review of the week. What do we got this week, Dom? Oh.
Wait, it's a 3-star.
3-star. Road Dogg is good. Or goo. It cut off, but it says goo.
Okay.
I love Road Dogg and would like to hear more of what he has to say about wrestling. The host really prevents me from enjoying the show with all the cackling every minute. Then when Road Dogg starts to sing, the host starts to sing. It's just hard to get into.
Oh
no, this is not good. This is supposed to be 5-star uplifting.
That was not good.
And
that dumb.
He told me
dumb it, man.
He basically told me to take a poop with my pants on. That's what he told me to do. I'm not allowed to cackle at you.
No.
Cackle.
Poop with your pants on, sir.
Hey, by the way, laughing at somebody is good. Cackling, not good.
Yeah, not good. That's
and then
Hillary
I thought
Clinton.
I was adding to your singing. I try to get harmony.
Yeah, I feel that way too. I don't know what to say to you. This gentleman doesn't seem to be you're not his cup of tea.
Well, here's what happens. If you sing this episode, I'm not singing with you.
You swear?
And I'm not going to cackle.
No cackling allowed.
0 cackling.
It's a no cackle zone.
I'll give a hearty laugh
right?
Or nothing.
Maybe carnival laughter. But not cackle.
Say I don't know how to laugh. I can't cackle.
Can't laugh without cackling.
Just carnival laughter.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. That's the carnival. That's the carnival cackle.
That's not cackling?
So steer clear.
Carnival cackle.
Yeah. It's basically when you cackle with is in front of it.
That's different than
like kizackle. Well, is it?
Is it?
I'm not sure. I need to watch more Josh Gates to find out where the treasures are.
What's Josh Gates?
Expedition Unknown, I think is what it's called. Expedition Unknown.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's a host of a show on Discovery where they go and look for stuff, man. I'm into those kind of shows where they dig up stuff from the Viking era. And, the Spaniards.
I just saw a documentary on the caves over in South Africa. Have you seen those?
No.
Oh, man. I'm gonna text you the link.
Okay.
I'm too busy cackling to remember the name now, but
I understand that.
They found this cave, and it's like the earliest cave ever. There's remains in there, and like,
oh my word.
Oh, it's fascinating.
I want to see it because I'm into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, super fascinating.
Because I'm weird. That's
a fact.
Baby. Yeah,
we know that.
We know that. I'm
all right,
also
Dog.
A lady in the streets, but a freak in the bed. You know? I mean, you get it.
I do get it. Dog, a few weeks ago, we discussed the evolution of wrestling, and you told us it was one of your favorite episodes of doing the podcast.
Yeah, I was lying.
Why is that? Oh.
I just trying to make y'all feel good. Like it. Oh, you thought I really liked it.
I'm trying not to cackle.
My bad. No, I'll tell you why I liked it. It's a very, and this might be over my head and I'm probably saying it wrong, but it's very philosophical about wrestling. It's all about my opinion. And look, that's what I think should be about anyway. We get, my opinion often gets me in trouble with the internet wrestling community. But this is totally about my opinion. It was so fun whenever we did it to talk about babyfaces because it's just my take on what a babyface is. So it's awesome to dig into wrestling a little bit, but again, it's just my thoughts on it. You know what I mean? And so it's not going to align with everybody else's, but there's going to be bits and tidbits of it that will stand true. And I think it all stands true. I just want to reiterate, it's just opinions. You know what I mean? And this is getting into, now we're going to talk about like the character, the babyface in the role, the good guy, Antagonist, I guess, or no, is he the protagonist?
We're gonna dig in.
Sure. He's a antagonist.
He's a antagonist.
Yeah, he was.
For sure.
He worked in Puerto Rico as
one
Roger
of the Tagonist families.
Tagonist bros.
We're gonna dig into what makes a baby face, how a baby face has changed. If there's something you think baby faces need to be doing better, and when we talked about this, kind of setting it up, Dog, you thought it was kind of funny because you were like, "Hey, hadn't been a baby face much."
Yeah. I wasn't a baby face much, and when I was, and we'll probably get into this. When I was a baby face, it was still in the old era of wrestling where it was the good guy, and the good guy was the good guy, and after that, only after that did the anti-hero become the hero. You know what I mean? The Stone Cold who's shooting a bird and who's kicking his boss in the nuts and stunning him and doing all this like that. Holy mackerel, that's the good guy. You know what I mean? Like it changed. The dynamic changed a great deal when I was just starting and from what I had seen in the past. And so, excuse me, being a babyface changed in the midst of my career. You know what I mean? Like being one all of a sudden just was different, and the more nasty and grimy we got, the more we got cheered, you know what I mean? So it was, it definitely turned around and turned a corner to where it's, again, philosophically speaking, from my point of view, it's what made me have frustrations about the Becky Lynch Charlotte situation. And when we've talked about that, Casio, you probably can tell, like I got worked up about it a little bit because I'm torn on how this can be possible. You know what I mean? Like, how can it be possible that the girl can be mad because she loses and then beats the crap out of the girl who won, and she's the good guy? You know what I mean? Like some of the things didn't click, and I think this is why, and maybe having this conversation is making me realize that, because it like changed in the middle of, in my prime, it being a baby face changed. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, DX, we were bad guys, but only for so long because people loved the crassicity, the crassness. Anyway, Crassius Clay, you know what I mean? Mr. Crass, Billy Gunn,
To your point, even today to, 2024 to 2004 to 84, 94, 74, all those, it's almost like different kind of every decade almost. The word babyface has changed a little bit.
But I do think Stone Cold Steve Austin was Black Bart. You know what I mean? Like Black Bart used to do that crap, drink beer but he was a bad guy.
He was a heel, yeah.
Because he did those things. You know what I mean? And so all of a sudden culture changed in the world. Yeah. It's not about wrestling anymore. It's about what's cool and what's not cool and what's in pop culture and what's hot. And look, proof is in the pudding. It changed, man. DX, The Undertaker, Stone Cold, The Rock, like all of that stuff was hot as fire. And we were no holds barred as far as what we were saying or doing, or, you know what I mean? It was just as dirty as you wanted to be, and people loved it. And it wasn't, there was a shift in the dynamic of the wrestling world where Bob Backlund just don't cut it no more. You know what I mean? I want to see somebody prank him or something. You know what I mean? Like he's the consummate good guy babyface that has the children. And look, even Hogan took his vitamins and said his prayers because he did things that were of the babyface ilk so that you knew he was a good guy. You know what I mean? No matter what, you knew Hogan was a good guy because he wanted all his little Hulkamaniacs to follow him. And he were going to say our prayers, and we're going to take our vitamins, baby. And we're going to, dang, I wish Hogan would have been talking about taking our vitamins during the pandemic. Maybe people would have done it, but that's my point is he was still, when Hogan was over, it was still good guys. You know what I mean? He totally went to Hollywood Hogan and just went to all black And it was totally just
And
the
we went,
white
"He's a
hat,
bad guy."
black hat, white hat, black hat. And what the fans did now, and look, they're the fans. They get to call what they want to call, which is acceptance is the key, but which was why it was hard for me to accept that the fans didn't back, like they just were mad because Charlotte came back and got added to the thing. So they just said, "Oh, this other girl who is a poor sport just she should win it." And then because they did that, we put her back in the, like, whatever we did. I don't even remember what we did with that, but because the fans, it was changed. It wasn't the good guy anymore. It was the, like, I don't care who it is. It's my guy. And I don't care if she wins or she loses or whatever. You deserve it. And you know what I mean? Like, it's yeah. When I pick my guy, and this is the fans' perspective. When I pick my guy, that's my guy. And if you don't put him on top, then I'm going to fuss about it. You know what I mean? And that's their right. And they have the right to do that. But I'm only bringing all that up is because I have trouble swallowing that, because it's different than what I grew up on and what I did my whole first, few years of my career, and then it just changed and it was different. So like everything else, I go kicking and screaming into change. But like that's the way of the world now. So that's where we roll. So, okay. So now the deal's different. And I feel like it did change with Austin. You know what I mean? Like him saying, Austin 3:16 says, "I just whooped your ass." And you know what I mean? Like it was actually blasphemy.
Right. He's doing a Bible verse kicking your ass.
Yeah.
Should be like, hey man, don't do that.
And that's another thing that
but
you
for
have to.
all of us, we loved it.
Yeah. Me too.
We were teenagers, but I'm saying,
yeah,
you were in the business, but as a fan and a teenager, it was like you said, the culture had changed.
Oh man, it was awesome.
And when he said that, we went, "What are you talking about?" Yeah. Can you say that?
Well, see, and that's what I was going to bring up, is like I did break in the time when it was still, there were still good guys and bad guys. The line wasn't blurred at all. And you could probably bring up some exceptions where you go like, okay, but really it was good guys and bad guys, man. And I feel like Stone Cold Steve Austin changed that, and he made. But like I said, he only went with the flow of the culture, but man, who didn't love Stone Cold and Mr. McMahon? You know what I mean? The boss getting shot a bird and kicked in the nuts and stunned, and man, it was the best thing going. And so why not? Why can't he be a babyface? Is my point. And that's the struggle I'm going through in my own head. Is, man, people don't. Bob Backlund doesn't work anymore. You know what I mean? Like, how does he not work? How does the good, wholesome, good-hearted person who helps others, who runs toward a bus crash with children in it instead of away from it or filming it, how can that guy not still be the good guy?
Right.
And I still to this day don't know how he is, but I get it, I guess. I don't want to. There. I said it. I don't want to get it. I don't want it. I don't want my good guys to be bad guys in disguise. You know what I mean? I want them to be good guys. So I don't know. I'm still. Well, maybe we shouldn't have done this topic. I'm just kidding.
But let's talk about it though.
Yeah,
you mentioned him. 83. I don't want to get too far ahead. We're going to get down there. But going back to 83, like you said, Bob Backlund, the champion for WWF, super clean cut babyface. Yeah. But here's the crazy part. You look on the other side. At the time, 83, Ric Flair is a babyface champion.
Yeah.
He hasn't turned into the guy he is now. You're beneath me. I'm taking your woman. But in 83, he's a babyface champion. It was clean cut in 83.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when I was in high school. You know what I mean? So that's the time I come from with my wrestling experience, and my father and my brothers and their Brad was such a baby face that he never let himself he never let himself go, never let himself be himself in a promo. I don't know why, but that was the only thing in the world that made him, that separated him from the biggest babyface ever. You know what I mean? Like, he could work his tail off. He was built great. He cut a good promo anyway, but he never let himself out in his promos. He was always the consummate babyface. I want to get in there and do the best I can, and I tell you what, he's going to know I was in there with him or whatever. You know what I mean? It would be I stand up for myself, but I don't say I'm great because I'm humble. You know what I mean? Like, I want my baby faces to be a little more humble nowadays. Everybody's the king. Everybody's the queen. Everybody's the greatest in the game. Everybody's the greatest of all time. Like, if everybody's greatest of all time, then nobody's the greatest of all time. So,
Yeah.
so pick and choose what you say and who you're saying it to, because I'm not buying it sometimes. You know what I mean? And so, I just think all of us could. I don't know if you saw the movie Leo, it was an Adam Sandler vehicle with who's the Burr, who's the other comedian? Bill Burr. And their class pets and it's a cartoon show, you know. And one of the girls that he goes home with was like, we're the greatest. He was like, yeah, you're not that great. And she was like, wait, what? And then he explains to her, yeah, you're great, but you're you. Be you. You're not that. And so each kid he goes home with is like teaching them a lesson and stuff. But like, man, that more people need to hear that today. Like, you ain't special. You ain't great. You're just another human like me trying to get along and live. And we should work hard and treat each other with respect and do all of that until we die. You know what I mean? Like, that's how we should live in concert with one another, and not relying on others to support us, or not, you know what I mean? Like, picking yourself up by your bootstraps and making your way and providing, like, I don't know, we're just all trying to do it, right? So some of you kings and queens are just people, you know what I mean? So come back down off those high horses with the paupers, and let's get this business done. I forgot what we were talking about.
You nailed it. You mentioned your dad. You mentioned your dad's.
Yeah.
So it's the perfect time to ask, what did he believe a babyface was? Because he was in that time.
Yeah.
Babyfaces are babyface, heels are heels, and you didn't even get seen.
Oh no, heck no, you did not.
Yeah, it was keeping kayfabe to the max.
To the max. You know, I mean, a lot of times referees would have to go back and forth and they would give you the finish. You know what I mean? And then you'd go out there and work until it was time to do the finish. Like, it was, and then you just, yeah, it was so crazy. And honestly, you just wouldn't talk to them ever. A referee would tell you the finish, you talk in the ring while you're working. And so that was how it was when I broke in. You know what I mean?
I've heard Flair talk about it before, about him and Steamboat traveling together, and then when they got somewhere, they had to stop. One of them has to get out.
Yeah, and do something.
They're just going to the gas station.
We can't be seen together, right? We just got to fill the car up.
One goes in, and if one comes into the other, they're like, because they were like, you know, even the guy working the counter is like, hey, bud, that's the Steamboat's behind you. And he has to go like, well, you know what?
Yeah.
Forget him. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, Steamboat.
That's insane to think about now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, it's also like a cool thing to think about. Like, I appreciate, like, that's super cool to go, we can't even be seen together, dog.
But so it was so different before the world found out the secret. You know what I mean? It was so different. Even when the world knew the secret, it wasn't out there. You know what I mean?
You've talked about when the Flame came over to your house.
Yeah.
We've talked about, you know, I do the show with Nick Patrick, but you've talked about how the Flame comes over and you're going,
I freaked out. Yeah.
I thought almost killed my dad.
Yeah. And he wanted to. Like, that was before I was smart that they were doing good business together. You know what I mean? Like, they brought him in because he did good business for 8 months here, 6 months here, you know? Wow. And so, it's just crazy. But look, we demanded that you suspend your disbelief, and we did everything we could to make you think it was real. If you thought for 1 minute during my match that that's real, then I'd done my job. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what my focal point was. I feel like today a lot of the focal point is how can we do all these cool spots, and when you do all that and it's all planned out, you don't feel anything. You don't give yourself time to feel anything. And as the Babyface, to me, you asked originally about what my dad thought about Babyfaces and all that. I'll tell you what I learned from my dad about Babyfaces is when it's time for you to get yours, you get yours. You get it. If you have to take it, you get it. When you're a Babyface, you don't back down. You don't you get nose to nose. You don't back away from the guy. You gotta, I wouldn't throw the first punch, but if I did, it would be warranted. You know what I mean? Like you gotta do things that are not articulated or that aren't in a book anywhere, but that a human being can watch and perceive as, oh, they're having physical combat right now. You know what I mean? And what can I do in between all that crap to grab you and pull you into me so that I personally have some sort of impact on your evening. And tomorrow you go, remember that friggin' idiot Road Dogg said so-and-so or whatever? Like that was my focal point. But again, my dad's was, sell, man. You can sell. It's okay to sell, but you gotta stay, yeah. So he my dad looked great. He wore the white trunks, white singlet a lot. But he also, to me, he was the Southern Bruno, because he was a barrel-chested dude with hair all over. He was always tan.
Yeah.
He had a big Roman nose. He had curly hair. You know what I mean? He was a man. He was a man's man, and he performed as such, if that makes sense. He sold like a man, and when he came back, when he throw his comeback, it was like a man. And if you didn't bump, he'd hit you 3 more times. You know what I mean? Like he was going to make sure that I don't know, that to me, watching my dad, like he was going to make sure that heel couldn't stop him once the train starts rolling. Once it's time to go into your comeback, he wasn't letting nobody stop him. Yeah, some of the stuff I've seen him doing in the past was just so great. Some of the things they showed just on the little short reel of the Hall of Fame thing, where he's punching everybody and jumping up in the ring. It's just his kind of way that he used to do stuff. Very similar to Dusty. Like it was almost like Dusty and Dad couldn't work in the same territory because they were similar characters, just not the same humans. You know what I mean? Like totally different in their character, but yet the same kind of I don't know, working class man's man. You know what I mean? Like the working class man's man.
Salt of the earth.
Yeah.
Everyday man. I got a regular job, like you said, son of a plumber,
somebody,
whatever it may
somebody
be.
you can relate to. And then my brother got in there, and he now this is his son. You know what I mean? Back in the early Georgia Championship Wrestling, when Dad and Brad were they won the North American Tag Tournament or something. I don't remember what they did, but they were in and it was now it's his son, and Roddy Piper was in then, and he was talking about always burying Dad but putting Brad over. So it was very relative. Like you said, it was always something I understood. Dad had a good promo, but he talked to the people in the people's language. You know what I mean? And it was in Alabama, in Georgia, in Florida. When he said it, you knew he meant it. You know what I mean? And that's because also he believes the words that are coming out of his mouth. I think a babyface has to cut a promo that makes you believe what he's saying. You know what I mean? And that, to me, the most important thing in that is I don't have to be a good promo and cut a 2-minute flawless promo that is rhyming and all this stuff. All I have to do is talk to you from my heart. And if I touch your heart, I've won. I'm done. You know what I mean? That's all I had to do, because now we've had a connection. And so now I'm in. You know what I mean? I've crept into your heart.
Hey,
I'm going to snuggle up in there.
Let's go to what's Road Dogg What's your age? What are you doing in 1984?
I'm a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's
What
talk
happened
about.
then?
Well, 84, the world changed.
Oh,
Hulk
big
Hogan
brother.
came
So,
in. Hulk Hogan came in as the new monster, beating Babyface World Championship.
yeah.
What do you remember of Hulk Hogan coming onto the scene as the guy?
Yeah. So I didn't really, and said this before on here, I didn't really watch much WWF stuff, I guess it was at the time.
Because you were locked into what your dad was doing.
Yeah, what
right?
my dad was doing. And look, to be quite honest, I was in a smaller territory and in Continental Championship Wrestling based out of kind of Pensacola and run all around there. So it was, I don't even know if I got the channels it was on. You know what I mean? Like I knew. I'll tell
Right.
you when I heard the most about it. And this is not this is for real. Is like when I was in '91 when Sergeant Slaughter turned on him and joined the. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
That's when I really was like, oh, what's going on up there? You know what I mean? It was the first time I was like, oh, there. I don't know, man. It's weird. I know it's weird, but I just followed my dad.
Like Mania 3 in 87, you weren't in on that?
So no, I wasn't because I was
wild.
Wasn't 87. Yeah, that's the year I graduated. So I don't know. I was joining the Marine Corps. Maybe I was preoccupied. I don't know. I don't really remember that.
Silverdome, Hogan, Andre.
Yeah. I remember. I've seen it since now.
But that's crazy to think. I mean, you're in a. I mean, I get it. You're in a family who's in their own territory, and again,
and
you're
truth be
in
told,
high school
we didn't talk about wrestling at home. Like every night, my dad didn't allow me to go to a lot of shows. Like it was his job. But then when I came into high school and I was 15 or 16, he would let me drive him to the show, and then I would stay and watch the show, and then I would drive him back home. Whatever. But it was, I just then learned it was a work, so I was just, I don't know, man. He sheltered me a lot. He sheltered all of us a lot. But when it was time, we all got in the business somehow.
That's wild to think about, man. As the decade goes on, so let's think about it. I'd love to hear your take on what you saw and what you didn't see.
Yeah.
The decade goes on from 84. Hulkster comes in, kind of changes the deal.
Yeah.
You see other baby faces, Ricky Steamboat, Sting. Do you remember anything about them?
Yeah.
Or what
Yeah. No, heck yeah.
Okay.
I remember. So I guess I was watching more WCW or Georgia Championship Wrestling or whatever it was, because look, I remember Sting and I remember all of that. And when I came back, I started working and met all those guys and knew all of them. But it was just, I didn't watch the up north, you know what I mean? So I knew who were baby faces and who were the heels and who was Zoom and who, but mostly in WCW.
So let's talk about this. Sting, Steamboat, even Hulkster.
Yeah.
They always have to have a heel to go with them.
100%. Yeah. You got to, even you think back to Hogan, like they had to make so many people for him to just beat, you know what I mean? Like they had to bring in people and do all kind of crazy stuff. And because he was just going to beat everybody. It's a babyface business. You know what I mean?
You got to have the heel to go.
You have
to have a chance to beat him.
Oh yeah. So you
the
have to prop a guy up. Yeah. You have to prop him up for months. You know what I mean? So to make him a believable opponent, to where you go like, okay, now he gets a shot. Let's see what he can do. And you, like you said, you believe for a minute he can beat him. And nowadays it's not, oh, he could beat him. It's, I could see them putting the title on him. You know what I mean? It's changed.
That's a cool thing to say.
It's changed so much that's what the fan is talking about. It's cool to put the title on him because he deserves it.
Yeah, but also let's take a step back.
Okay.
WrestleMania 3, I'm a kid. I'm not even a teenager.
100%. You're not
thinking.
And
I'm going, he can beat him.
Yeah.
And nowadays, whoever it is, the kid is thinking, man, they got a shot to beat Roman.
Yeah.
They can do this. You know what I mean? Cody can do this. Whether we want to be smart marks or not, the fact is, if you go to the kid is going, this person has a chance to beat Roman. And
Yeah,
that's what it's all
yeah,
about.
yeah. And he's going to finish the story, and he's
That's what
going
it's
to
all about.
as
Yeah.
many of those beats that you can get into a human to root for you. You know what I mean? Like that's to me, Cody is like doing the ultimate babyface right now.
Yeah.
He's almost. Man, I'm going to give him a lot of credit here. I am, but God darn it, he deserves it. He's almost brought back Babyface.
Babyface, yeah.
Babyface. Like, think about it. And I know I talk and everything's a bubble, and I'm just talking right here to me and you.
Everything he does is positive.
Yes, it's all positive.
Everything he does is good.
Yes.
It's
John Cena, bro. It's John
Yeah.
Cena. And John, so I guess I should have said John Cena. John Cena, he's one guy that I misspoke about. Like, he always does the right thing and was the good citizen, the good Samaritan, the good, like he was that babyface. But 70% of the crowd chanted Cena sucks. You know what I mean?
Right,
and the other 30 said, let's go Cena. And so that's but now
you also
Cody
had good merch sales, so
awesome.
that counts.
Awesome, bro. The best.
That counts, yeah.
The best, so you can chant whatever you want to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why I keep going back to that. And that's where I learned it from in all actuality was John Cena and his fake wrestling promos saying, you paid your money, you come here and chant whatever you want to. And he's 100% right.
Yeah.
Like, you paid your do what you want to do. But some of the things I think y'all are doing are ill-advised. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I want the good guy to be the good guy again. And Cody's brought that back.
Well, let's talk about.
He doesn't cuss. He doesn't. His promos are good and they're heartfelt and they bring you in. And he looks in the camera and looks in your eye and you feel like you're touching base with him. And he cuts a heartfelt promo and you go like, I hope he kills that guy. You know what I mean? Like, I hope he murderizes him.
Well,
yeah, he's bringing back Babyface. He's bringing Baby back.
I'm bringing Babyface back.
He's bringing Baby back. And then LA Knight says, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it. Cody, Steamboat, Sting, Hulkster. We talked about it. They need a heel. So how important is that rivalry? That not just a one-off, but a great heel rivalry really makes the babyface.
Yeah, it's the best thing ever. Like to your point, there has to be the bad guy. There has to be.
We can do one-offs, but we need the rivalry.
Yeah, you and look there. What doesn't happen anymore is those long-term rivalries because we have too much content to put out. Like, there's a show on every minute, and there's PLEs, and you know what I mean. That's just all the time content. It's there's only back in the day when your brother Jerry Blackwell was working in Stone Mountain, they worked once a week in that town. You know what I mean? And you had to go there to see what they did. Right. You couldn't go online and see everything that's ever happened in the WWE, or WCW or whoever. But so you could you could have a rivalry for 6 months on top. You know what I mean? Where you just did a little bit here. Next week we do a little bit more. But now it's on TV and every day, and you got to do, y'all got to run into each other 10 times this week, and we need the story to go on for 3 months. You know what I mean? So it's like, holy crap, how do you stretch it out? It's harder. It's harder now than it used to be, just because of the amount of content we put out.
Nobody cares about my opinion. This is about
I do.
This is about your opinion, but
I always like your opinion, dude, and I'm not kidding, because you ain't me, because you ain't in the business, because you are a fan. You know what I mean? Like, that's the actual perspective I should be listening to, not mine. You know what I mean? I'm a 54-year-old idiot.
So for AEW, they do a lot of stuff on YouTube. They have their series, Being the Elite, blah blah blah. I think sometimes they assume, because nowadays, like you said, there's so much content.
Yeah.
I think the problem I have with AEW is they assume we've all watched all the YouTube and the digital stuff.
Yeah.
And that's not the case. I think there's a lot of people that still just watch it on television.
Just watch the television show.
And even though WWE has an incredible digital content,
yeah,
I think WWE still goes, hey, man, if you didn't see the digital content, we're still going to give you a recap, or we're going to cut a promo that kind of sums it up.
Yeah.
Or when this guy comes to the ring, we're going to show a package.
Yeah. If you do something off of television, any creative beats off of television, and don't bring them forward onto the television show, then you're just cutting your fan in half. You know what I mean?
I love AEW. They've got great guys. They've got great gals. They've got stuff that I love. And that's great for wrestling. I love the whole deal.
Yeah, agreed.
It kills me sometimes, though. I'm like, I'll watch a match and I'll go, why are these two people fighting? And my friends who do watch the YouTube will go, oh, you didn't see that on the YouTube? And I go, no. No, I don't have time to see that on
I'm
the
sorry,
YouTube.
I have a job.
Yeah, I'm tuning in. I'm tuning in for Dynamite. I'm tuning in for Rampage. I'm tuning into the TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but don't make me feel like a loser for not watching it. Like,
I'm not an idiot. I'm trying to take in your content right now, how I take in content.
Right.
You know?
I'm going off on a rant, but I just say that to say, like, let me know the story so I can be invested.
You got to tell me every beat, man.
And I want to be invested.
Yeah, of course. And you have to look, you have to get snatched emotionally somehow.
Yes.
And it's just with a relative beat in the storytelling. Like, oh, I've done that before. The old send the wrong text. You know what I mean? The old that old
whatever
chestnut.
The case may be.
Yeah. And so look, but those back to the topic at hand. That's the looking at Maguchi is about that time. It's sorry. I don't know where that came from. What were we
Come
talking
on, big timers. Come on, big timers.
What were we talking about? Baby faces.
Yeah, we're talking about Babyface, the heel to the Babyface. But that was my point. Is I don't know who the heel is sometimes in AEW because I didn't watch the off.
Yeah. And then you don't know who to cheer for. And that was my point in all that, showing all the beats of the story.
Right.
Is you're gonna get indications in those beats of the story.
Correct.
Who the baby face is and who the heel is. And it will be indications such as I didn't just walk into your camera shot and say, hey, I'm gonna challenge you to, you know what I mean? Like that's not what a babyface would do, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like he would go and try to get it made and then say, yeah, there's a match made and I'm going to prove my point to him in the ring or whatever, whatever he would say. You just have to have all those beats to dictate who the babyface is. I need to know all those things.
Can you have a great babyface with a subpar heel?
Yes, and sometimes you have to. As long as that heel is believable, because you can then make me suspend my disbelief during the match, maybe not up until it. Maybe I think this guy doesn't stand a chance against Randy Orton. You know what I mean? Like, or whoever this monster babyface is. He doesn't have a chance against LA Knight, whatever. If he can make me suspend my disbelief in the confines of that match time, you know what I mean? Like there's a certain thing that goes down to where Randy is in real trouble, and I believe for a moment this guy can beat Randy. You know what I mean? Like this guy now. So it's yes, with a subpar heel you can get a great match. Back to your point, they might be one-offs. Or just thinking creatively, I would have that subpar heel get DQ'd by beating the crap out of Randy or something, like go too far. And you know what I mean? Like, holy crap, this guy's trying to make a name for himself off of Randy Orton's name, And so just spitballing, but like, yes, you can have a great match and a great pay-per-view one-off with a subpar heel and a great baby face. So yeah, that's possible, but it's not perfect world stuff. You know what I mean? Utopia, you want a good heel and a good baby face. And to your point, man, you need that. That's what gives you the emotional attraction that I was talking about, that if you don't have, then I'm not going to tune in. I'm not to something I don't care about. Like you know what I mean? Like, so you gotta, to me, you gotta introduce the characters more. Hence what we were talking about, showing the B-roll or the pre-tape or whatever you have to do to let me know the character more, because I don't know them, so I don't care. Introduce me. Let me know them. Let me see them, those things that I call babyface indicators. And it's those things that like, again, I can't even articulate it, but I know it when I see it. You go like, oh God, don't do that. You know what I mean? Like when you're talking about like, yeah, I make a ton of money and I do this, and like, oh, that feels bad. You know what I mean? There's just certain things that you do that don't feel, I say babyface because I don't know other term for it, but it don't feel right. You know what I mean? It feels wrong. And when a babyface does something that feels wrong, I don't know, that feels bad to me.
Maybe we should have started with that. But look, since we're here and you got a hint on there, what makes a babyface a babyface? I know it's kind of hard to, we kind of see it when we see it, but is there a kind of, you've been at the performance center, you've helped people train. Is there things you say, here's what a babyface does, here's what you don't do, or is it, we kind of just know it?
So there are things that you see and say, yeah, don't do that again, or don't say that again, or don't, you know what I mean?
Like you're mentioning your money.
Mentioning. If you're a baby face and you tell me how great you are, I think you're less of a baby face because you're arrogant. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need you to say, I'm the best ever. I'm just going to do I don't need you to say, I'm just going to do my best and get in there and scuffle. I don't want you to be that guy. I want you to be the guy that's confident, but not overconfident. And I want you to be the guy that will help his partner, that will, a lot of the times they go like, you look weak if you go down and help the guy. And you're like, no, that's not weak. That's strength. You know what I mean? That's who's watching this, and what are their minds thinking if they're not seeing that as a strength in character to help the other guy, to go help him. Why would he give a crap? Because he's a good guy. You know what I mean? Because he's a nice guy that sees injustice going down and he interfered. We tell people that in our goddamn subways. See something, say something. See something, do something. You know what I mean? Like that, to me, that's the good guy.
A hero.
A hero. A hero that's not a hero, but saves somebody's life anyway.
Yeah.
A hero that's not a hero, but stop this faction from beating the crap out of that guy anyway. And he becomes a hero, like, hey, I'm not a hero. I just saved your butt, dude. You'd have done the same for me. Well, maybe he wouldn't have. And maybe that's another indicator of why he's a heel, because this cat wouldn't have done that for you, bro. But you did it for him anyway. That indicates he's a babyface. You know what I mean? There's things that you do, and as a viewer, we see that indicate to us. And like you said, so there are things that when people do something, you go like, oh, change that. But then again, there's people that are humble yet confident, and they say their piece, and they say, I'm going to come out there and I'm going to win. You know what I mean? Like I think a babyface can say I'm going to win, because I think he has to have confidence. You know what I mean? I don't think he would ever say like, I don't know if I can beat this guy, unless it was Ellsworth versus Braun Strowman. You know what I mean? And even he said, any man with two hands stands a chance. So it's, I think the verbiage is very important for baby faces. I also think, and this I can't articulate, and I don't know how to try, but it's also body language and ring presence and ring, how you present yourself in the ring. Do you sell too much and not fight back? Like you gotta, I don't know if you ever saw Tully Blanchard work, but that baby face had to earn everything. And I mean everything. Tully was on you to the point, and we've said this before, to the point where I think some other guys got hot because he would keep fighting them. But what it did was make the babyface earn this pop he's getting and the respect he's earning.
Got over.
Yeah.
We loved it.
Yes, heck yes. But go back and watch some of Tully's work, man. Babyface would be making their comeback, and he would just come and hit them in the face. And like because nowadays you do that, and some guys will just go, oh. It's like, dude, you're in your comeback. Don't start selling crap now. You know what I mean? Like, you're in your comeback, run through that. And if he hits you, you hit him back harder. You know what I mean? And that's for real. I'm talking about not punching him in the face, but like, he comes at you with that out of nowhere, you come back harder and more aggressive because you're the baby face and you take it. You don't let the guy just cut you off willy-nilly. You know what I mean?
You think Tully did that because he knew it would get the heat on him more? I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah. I think he was a smart dude, and I think after I haven't sat with him a lot and talked, but I would actually really like to, because I'm a huge fan of his work. Just as a smaller heel that fought like hell. It reminds me of like a Mike Graham or you know what I mean? Like those kind of guys that were not big, but made you work your butt off to get over on them. You know what I mean? And so, it made up for their not being 6'6" and 380, the way they fought with their ferocity, their tenacity, you know? But yeah, he made babyfaces earn it. If you want to watch a good heel, watch him. If you want to watch a good babyface, you watch Ricky Morton. Anything Ricky Morton ever did, anything Steamboat ever did, all the right mannerisms, all the right moving forward when you're supposed to and never moving backwards. Everything was right with those guys. Brad included, and I didn't want to say that because he's my brother, but Brad included, always the consummate babyface in the ring as far as his ring presence and his ring awareness and all that. So yeah, all great baby faces, but without that heel, man, you got no hill to overcome. You got no obstacle to overcome, no hill to climb. And so you need that heel. You need that rotten Ron Starr or the outlaw Ron Bass, or you know what I mean? Like, you need somebody that comes in and it's a dirty heel and he does underhanded crap. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't just beat you at wrestling. If he beats you, he cheats and does it. You know what I mean? Like, that's a bad guy. Like, he can't beat nobody without cheating. You know what I mean? you feel that. You know what I mean? As a kid, as a human, you go like,
somebody cheated.
This goddamn guy cheated. Ref, I saw it with my own eyes.
Yeah. How did you not see him put the foot on the rope?
See, that's to me like, man, I wish I could take culture back to there. I'd like to buy the world a Coke and snort it. Sorry. But, you know, just to like, man, that feeling of this bad guy, I really want this guy to kill him. I want him to beat his brains out. You know what I mean? Like it, and it's not like that. Like, I hope they have a 5-star match. I hope their work rate is a competitive one. And you know what I mean? It's like, God darn, you're missing the point. You're missing the point.
Dog, talking about making all the right moves.
Fanatics. I didn't know the segue, so I just
WWE made the right move in joining with Fanatics because they know how to do merch.
I'm sorry.
I love you so much.
They do know how to do merch, though. That's the truth.
It's why, look,
the NFL, everybody uses Fanatics, and so we finally smartened up and brought them on board, not only in the WWE, but right here at Oh You Didn't Know, the podcast.
That's right, the new affiliate partnership with Fanatics and the WWE shop and the podcast right here at Oh You Didn't Know. An easy way to support your favorite podcast right here. If you want to support us, you can shop official WWE gear and apparel by using our special website, shopwrestlingmerch.com.
Shopwrestlingmerch.com.
Or you can watch along with us on YouTube if you're here watching on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Get that QR code that's been up on the screen.
How do you spell that? Q
and the letter R.
R. Okay. Right.
But it's that little squiggly line.
Yeah, like I have to order in the airports.
Yep. Just click it and boom. You're going to get the link to Shop Wrestling Merch and the Fanatics WWE shop. You want that Yeet shirt? You want that Hell Froze Over shirt?
Hell Froze Over, yeah.
What if you want a little Mommy's Always on Top shirt?
That's nasty. Don't you talk like that.
Mommy did it.
I know.
Mommy did it. It's all there. You can shop with confidence for your favorite WWE Superstar tees, hoodies, caps, and yes, even the
underwear.
belts.
Oh, sorry. The titles. Yes, the titles.
You also underwear because I'll buy it.
We do. I have some Road Dogg panties on right now.
But if you sell Rotom panties.
I'm just kidding. We don't sell them, but I am wearing them. Go ahead.
Go get your championship belt and more at WWE Shop. Use our special link, shopwrestlingmerch.com, or hit that QR code that you see on the screen on our YouTube feed, and you can help the show and get your best swag, baby.
Get some swag, dog.
Get that WWE. Gear up for the Superstar swag. Support the show as well.
Gear up for the Rumble.
Official affiliate partner of WWE Shop, a Fanatic experience right here at Oh, You Didn't Know. Dog, now as we get to...
It's perfect if we come back like that, because that's half what we do the whole time anyway, is just dying laughing.
Look, now let's get into the next decade. We hit the 80s. We talked about what a babyface is and a heel. They're going. It's kind of clear defined.
Yep.
Now, let's take 93 as example.
Ooh.
We got Bret Hart. We got Diesel. We got Randy Savage later on in the WCW. Shawn Michaels is a babyface.
Yeah.
There was that next evolution of the smaller babyface. Talk about that era.
Yeah, it was. And you know what? And a very much quicker pace in the wrestling. Yeah. Like you go back and you watch the 80s matches, and then you come watch the 90s, like we're moving faster. And so the smaller babyface was kind of warranted. Well, you know, talking about it now and saying it out loud, it's probably the other way around. The smaller champions dictated a faster pace. But I think it's easier to have a smaller champion, and I'll tell you why. It's easier to get pity on that guy. It's easier for you to beat him up and me go, darn, man, like it's Ricky Morton. It's Ricky Morton for me. Like that's Shawn Michaels was in better shape, and you know, you could argue whether he was better looking or not, but like he was a younger, in better shape, more flamboyant, I would say, than Ricky. But same kind of deal. Great worker, great bumper, great seller, great and really brings you in to that. That's the part of it where they get you emotionally connected, is in that beatdown. You know what I mean? Like if you like this guy and he's selling the beatdown well, like, oh man, I want nothing better for him to come up and start kicking this guy's arse, you know? And so I don't know. I still go back to Ricky Morton is the baby face. You know what I mean? He's the guy. And the smaller size stature is part of that reason for that.
And it's kind of fun to see. Now Bret Hart maybe not so much. He was kind of babyface the whole time.
Yeah.
Diesel kind of went back and forth. Savage kind of went back and forth in his career.
Yeah.
And Shawn, of course, hits DX, and we're going to get into that in just a second. But
all
the smaller guys kind of went back and forth a little bit more. You know, you get you get the big guy. He's kind of destined to be the big guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's
kind of root for him a little, but it's easier for him to be that heel move.
Yeah, because
like you were saying, the smaller guy can. Yeah, if he wants to be a heel, he can. But the baby face is easy, kind of.
So two things, and I probably will forget both of them now. But like, so one of them is those smaller guys have to be twice as ferocious in their offense, because and Brett was perfect at this, perfect example. He was believable. You know what I mean? Like when he started firing back on you, it was believable. And then he would get taken down, shot down somehow, and the heat would continue. But like they were scrappy and they were believable, and they had to be. And so because if you're a smaller guy and not like that, it translates as, oh, well, then he's just going to get his ass kicked all the time because he doesn't have the fight of a pit bull or whatever. So that helped there. The other thing I knew I was going to forget.
Savage, Shawn.
Switching back and forth. The big guy, you can't get sympathy on the big guy. He's a huge guy. For one thing, you hardly ever make him sell. You know what I mean? You got to do 10 times as much to him to get him down because he's the big oak. And so you don't get pity on Braun Strowman. You know what I mean? Like you may chop the tree down momentarily, but I don't really feel bad for him because he's huge. he's going to stand up in a minute and kill this guy. You know what I mean? So it's easier to believe that that younger guy is going to get his arse kicked for the whole time, you know?
Well, it didn't last long. 93, you've got those smaller guys, but now here's where we get to the blurred lines. 96,
Yeah.
the world changes again.
Yeah.
Cool heels like the NWO get cheered.
Yeah.
Even an ultra heel, like we talked about earlier, Steve Austin, who is doing heel things that previous heels have done. He starts getting babyface reactions
for doing all that.
It's just the attitude of the world, or America in particular, but it's just kind of the world changed.
Yeah, it did.
Right?
It did. And the culture, that's what I say, is the culture changed, and it has to. But you know what? Do you look, I notice it with my children and my grandchildren. The world is a totally different place today, but it's gone back to, hey, you be nice to each other and be respectful,
accepting.
You know, and so it's a much softer place. I don't know where I was going with that or why, but
just how the lines are blurred.
Yeah,
but now
Cody
it's going back.
Where I was going with Cody coming back as the babyface, and he's a good guy, babyface. You know what I mean? And he's not saying suck it, and he ain't NWO Wolfpack and hitting people with bats, and you know what I mean? Like he's just a good guy who works hard and says he's going to finish his story, and I want to go on that ride with him and see if he does. You know what I mean? And so it's all cyclical, just like everything is, I think. But this is for sure, because we're coming right back to the good guy being an actual good guy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And so I don't know. I see that as a rightening of the ship, in my opinion.
Let me
but
ask
maybe
you
other
this.
people disagree.
96, you're deep in the business by now.
Oh yeah.
Who, or maybe a moment or a person, just talk about what you remember of the first kind of person. I know the NWO got it, but
Yeah.
when do you remember going, hey, those are supposed to be heels and they're getting, you know what I mean? Like,
it was my own.
it had to be. It had to be a shock in the locker room.
My own personal experience is when I did that, is when we were DX and they're cheering us as loudly as they can, and we're telling them to suck it, and we're telling, you know what I mean? We're doing all this crass stuff that I wouldn't want my children to see, and all, and they love it. And like, it was dumbfounding to me, but I was reaping the benefits of it. So it was like, you better get used to it quick, kid. But it was, I don't know. You're right. It changed. The tide changed, and the industry changed.
Do you remember a conversation in the locker room? Was there like a behind the scenes Vince or anybody going, so what's happening right now?
I think there were a couple, and to be quite honest, I think it was Hunter and Sean in there with Vince pushing this attitude era. I think Sean, and look, I may be talking out of school, and I don't, but the way
NWO's cool. We got to do something.
The way I perceived this was Shawn Michaels seeing the writing on the wall, and having the conversations that needed to be had, and getting the boss on board. And that's from what I know of the history of the Attitude Era, that's how it started. And so you kind of, I didn't see the writing on the wall. I didn't know people were I was going to tell them to suck it and they were going to cheer for me and buy my t-shirt. You know what I mean? I couldn't have fathomed that, but that's what was happening. And maybe he did see the NWO, whatever it was, he saw it and said, we need to get aggressive. And by aggressive, I mean, pull my pants down a lot.
I hate to cackle.
I hate to cackle. That was funny right there.
That was 3 stars, but I hate to cackle, but that was good. Let's talk about, did the work in the ring as being a babyface matter so much as we now start transitioning into, this guy's got great interest music. He's got a catchphrase.
Yeah.
You kind of overcome the odds that way now.
Well, the truth of it is, if that stuff, if you have all that and the stars align and you kind of get over, you're going to get pushed. You're going to
turn
get
into a
they're
babyface.
going to try it. Yeah, they're going to
Yeah.
try it, and you're already accepted, and they're already popping for you. Look, I can tell you a lot of people who have music and great entrances and don't get that reaction. You know what I mean? Because there's no connection, and that's sad. But it takes more than entrance and ring music, man. And if I got a guy coming to me and telling me, hey, babyface, heel, whatever, I got a guy coming to me and telling me I want to change the music because I don't think it. You're already thinking about the wrong things, man. You're already thinking about the wrong things. Like I don't remember a time where I went, I think you should change the second, arrangement of the guitars here, because if they like you, they'll like that crappy song you come out to as well. You know what I mean? Like that's just a fact.
There is something to say, though. We've joked on this show before. Somebody said it. I forgot.
Yeah.
Meltzer or somebody. All entrance for the New Age Outlaws, and then they came out. But I mean, you talk about it in the ring, and you even joke about it how, hey, we did the same thing almost. Yeah. We knew what we were doing when we got in the ring, and we knew what y'all were doing when we got in the ring, but we still loved it. We loved the entrance.
Yeah.
You got to the ring. We knew what was happening. We knew the heat was coming. We knew the comeback.
Yeah.
We knew the wiggle.
Yep.
But it speaks to you going, they gotta identify with you at some point.
And
they
look,
can still dig your ring, but they gotta dig with you at some point.
At every point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so they gave us a song that went no.
Right.
No. Like it's okay. That's okay. You know what I mean? And I did something with it. And this is me blowing my horn, and I don't like to do it, but it's proof in the pudding that you take the opportunity given and you do something with that, all that you can do. And I can't articulate one word of that because you're you and I'm not, but you get that opportunity and you seize it. You seize the day and you go out there and you make something of it. And so I don't know that you'd like that song at all if you didn't hear, oh, you didn't know? And that sounds arrogant and cocky of me, but I think it's the truth. Like if I heard that song, I wouldn't go like, this is the best song ever. But you won't do that with my voice on it either. But you will go like, oh, shoot, I remember that. You know what I mean? Like I didn't ask them to give me different music because it didn't fit my sandwich and my planet. I took what you gave me and I did something with it. And that's what I tried to do every night. You know what I mean? And if you're doing it any other way, to me, you're doing it wrong. But what do I know? I'm just a WWE Hall of Famer.
Hey, you talked about
veteran of a foreign war.
Hey. You talked about the transition and, hey, whether it's Sean and Hunter going to Vince and going, hey, this is the new culture and NWO's over. Now we got to get our attitude and we're doing this.
Yeah.
But was there resistance to, hey, this is a transition? Maybe not for you, but just in the locker room in general or the riders in general?
I'm sure there was. And like I say, I only have my own experience as a reference point. I was in the group that was doing it all and catching on. So I'm sure there were people that didn't agree with that, but they weren't going to come say that to me. You know what I mean? Like I was part of the problem if they had a problem with the way we were going.
For you, it's a good thing too.
Yeah, for me, it was a great thing. But if some of the guys had issue with the new direction we're going, they would have issue with me. You know what I mean? Because I was a part of it. And so I don't think they would come to me and say that kind of stuff. But look, I also think they saw with their own eyes the transition from the babyface, white hat babyface to, maybe you can wear a baseball hat backwards and still be a babyface. You know what I mean? Like you can wear a black hat and be a babyface. But it changed, and it changed. I don't know, man. I go back to Austin. But then we talk about Cena and Cody now. So it's cool to see the ebbs and the flows, you know what I mean? Of what society accepts and promotes as a babyface is interesting.
You get babyface pops doing the same moves as when you were a heel.
Yeah.
Is there that much of a difference in being a babyface compared to a heel in the ring besides story and opponent, or does that kind of dictate it? We talked about how much the story was involved.
Yeah.
That kind of dictates it a little bit.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
However, I think, man, you still got to take that role. Like for me, I don't know how else to do it. I don't know of another way. I still got to take the role of the babyface if I'm the good guy. And so I'm going to lock up and I'm going to wrestle. Maybe he takes the first shortcut. You know what I mean? And right then, oh, well, he's the bad guy because he cheated, because he didn't do it fair and square. And so then I can throw, now I feel like, oh, he's cheated and got the upper hand. I could throw a punch now. You know what I mean? I could punch him, and that's old school thinking, but sometimes now you just see them lock up and start punching each other, and it's like, oh, well, okay. You just hit him with 8 punches.
But you guys kind of cheated. We still rooted for you.
Yeah, we did. As New Age Outlaws, it
right.
was, and that's the thing is like once you start to get over, it's almost like you can't do any wrong. You know what I mean? And it's sad, but it's the truth, and it's, and I reaped the benefits of it, and so I loved it.
Totally off topic, but being a stand-up comic and reading books and picking the brains of other stand-up comics, Steve Martin has a book called Born Standing Up, and it's just about his stand-up days.
Yeah.
And kind of what you just touched on made me think of it. He talks about how when he did stand-up, and it was the art of stand-up and figuring out how to make people laugh and learning the room and learning how to, this is a great idea, let me figure out how to work it out.
Yeah.
But then he talks about how when he was Steve Martin on top of the world, he was like, it didn't matter what I did on stage at a show. They were laughing and were in.
Yeah.
And he talks about how it kind of lost the passion.
Yeah.
He was going, it didn't matter what I did.
Yeah. They just laughed.
I think
he didn't have to earn it no more.
Yeah. He talked about, I think it was Vanderbilt. He did a show at Vanderbilt. And he said, when I got through the show, they didn't have a green room. I had to walk through the crowd, the middle of the crowd, down the aisle. And he goes, it was so abstract and my bits were kind of abstract that they didn't think the show was over. And I kept going, the show is over. And they followed him out of the arena. And he was going, guys, the show's over. And they walked through campus, and he finally goes, there was a pool on campus that was empty because it was the winter. And he told the crowd to get in the pool. And they climbed down in this empty pool. And he goes, guys, the show's over. And they're clapping in the empty pool. And he goes, this isn't stand-up. This is...
Right.
You just want to see me. But it goes back to your point, what you just said of...
Yeah.
It kind of takes away from the deal because whatever we do gets over.
Yeah.
Whatever we do, they're rooting for.
Once you get over that hump where like,
you're
oh,
over.
snap, man.
Yeah.
Now they're just excited to see you.
Yeah, you're just there, and that's all they wanted to see.
Yeah, and that's, but that's...
It's good and bad.
It's a curse and a blessing, like everything in life. You know what I mean? It's all how you look at it. I'm sure there were people mad about it. My accountant wasn't one of them.
Well, look, let's talk about some good babyface meat because we haven't mentioned this name, but in the late '90s, you see Kurt Angle come along.
Oh,
Olympic gold medalist,
yeah,
and he's booed out of the damn building. And The Rock is just treating people like poop in his promos.
Yeah.
He's hitting the most ridiculous elbow in the world. He can't do any wrong. Is that tough to adapt to when you've been doing it so long?
Yes. It's tough to adapt to. You just said it, and it made me uncomfortable again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's not.
I'm Olympic gold medalist.
Yes. You suck.
You should be our hero.
Yes. Why isn't he our hero?
Right.
That's my question to the world, or excuse me, domestically to the United States. Why wasn't he? He earned everybody's respect.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he is the hero.
Later,
hero he should have always been. Now, but why? why do you accept the smart ass and you promote the smart ass? And the guy who was fought for your like wrestled his whole life, made it to the Olympics and then won, like his story enough is to get you to pop. But you're going to tell him he sucks? Because like, what in the world?
Yeah,
it's a bizarro world to me. And so, yeah, it's hard to accept when you go like, man, it just doesn't make sense to me, you know?
You weren't there as a rider, but I can imagine in that now in your position now.
Yeah.
Just looking back of, hey guys, we got an Olympic hero, and they're booing him. So I'm not sure what to do.
I think we should all commit Harry Carey in this room right now.
We don't know what to do.
I'm stabbing myself with a Bushido blade as we speak.
As we enter the 2000s, WCW, ECW, they start closing shop.
Yeah.
Now WWE really in control of everything.
Yeah.
TNA was come along now. They would introduce the X division, the younger, more athletic guys that are coming up.
Yeah.
Size has always been a thing with baby faces. We touched on it earlier. Yeah. But everyone seems to be getting smaller now in the early 2000s, taking more risk. Edge and Christian, the Hardys. Yeah. That was the next evolution of the baby faces, right?
Yeah, good Lord. And yeah, especially from a tag team standpoint, the Dudleys and the Hardys and Edge and Christian, like that, man, they raised the bar when it came to
but that kind of went back to Kerry Morton and them of we're in charge, we're fast paced, and we're doing everything right.
Yeah. And look, I think I believe that the X division came from the luchadors on WCW. You know what I mean? Like that's where, to me, that was the first time I got my eyes on that a lucha libre style and their I don't know, just in any of it. Like I said, I watched my dad's stuff and my brother's stuff, and that's what I grew up on, and I didn't watch anything else, you know? So when I started seeing all this stuff, I really marked out for Rey Mysterio and Conan, and when they all came over, and it was Malenko and Jericho and all these guys that were just, man, it was incredible, and opened my eyes to, wow, these guys are great. And these smaller guys, like, I'm okay with watching a smaller guy wrestle because he can do all that crap. You know what I mean? Like he's a heck of an athlete or a performer or whatever, but I don't, you know, wrestling used to be two big guys get in there and wrestle around for a little while. And the smaller guy brings a different dynamic, man. And it's a faster pace. And to your point, more risk involved. So that's another reason I wasn't going to go to the top rope.
Well, we mentioned them both. Let me ask you this, because they're both baby faces in their prime. They're ready to go. From your perspective, which is what we're doing this show for, is your philosophy, your take on it. Differences in the Hardys compared to Rock and Roll Express. They're both baby faces, but they're different. They're different though. What do you see when you compare those two?
It is very different. I want to think like I see the same thing. Brothers or just about, you know what I mean? Punk and Hoot, been together forever. So it's babyface. They're kind of bookends. They dress the same. They did the same. They did double team maneuvers. You want to think they're one and the same, but it's literally tells in my frame of mind anyway right now, it literally it paints the picture of the separation along the years. Like it was, you know, the Hardys kind of got over by doing all this crazy high flying stuff. And you never saw Ricky or Robert do any of that. You know what I mean? Like you saw the 1-footed double drop kicks, that was their finish, you know, for the love of God, you know? And so it was just like you could see perfectly in those two tag teams, the transition of what wrestling turned into. And what took it to the next level. Look, business was good back then, but business got better. And business now is the best it's ever been. And we do tables, ladders, and chairs all the time and stuff. So it's the progression of wrestling. It's not so much the difference in the styles of the wrestlers or the mentality of the wrestlers, but the mentality of the culture around them, society around them. You know, it was Hardy with big baggy pants on doing his thing. You know what I mean? That was hip and cool at that time. Punky and them came out to like, I play some old rock and roll. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't. You look back on it now and you go like, God, was that even cool? But it was cool as crap then. And they were over like Rover, and they were making money everywhere they went. And so the business is just so much bigger and so much different now. It's a totally different industry because of the time that has passed. You know what I mean? And the culture that changes in that time.
I'm going to hit you with a few rapid fire as we wrap up here. First, I think that's maybe something we should visit this year as we go through this philosophy deal, is the tag team wrestling, the philosophy behind it, how it's changed, heel and babyface. I think it's a good one to talk about.
I love that. Yeah, I love
later
that
on this year.
Look, I guess we should see how these are taken first.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, they could be giving a thumbs down, but I love it. Let's wrap up real quick on this, and then I have a couple quick questions.
Okay.
We're into the 2010s. We're into the 2020s as far as the timeline. We can't cover this without covering pandemic wrestling that was done. How would you feel about being a babyface trying to wrestle in front of no crowd or even an electronic crowd that you guys use in WWE?
I can't even imagine it. I can't even fathom.
It's a bizarre world now that we look back on it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was then, but even more now you're going, how did that even happen?
How did we even do that? But you know what? Kudos to the company for staying on and presenting their television show every week. Like it was crazy at times, but man, really, really a feat when you look back on it. What was the question? I'm sorry.
Just talking about how it was. How can you imagine doing that?
Oh, yeah. No, I couldn't. Because look, I totally use the people right here every time I go anywhere in the ring. You know what I mean? I'm going over here to utilize these people. And I'm gonna touch eye contact with that person. And I'm gonna do, you know what I mean? And then I'm gonna go over here and do it over here too. And so I don't know, man. I don't know.
I need being a babyface.
Exactly. It's feeling the people. How bad do they want me to come back? Do they want me to do something right now? You know what I mean? Like, are they coming are they going? And a lot of people, not a lot of baby faces nowadays, to see, I'll let you read that. A lot of people nowadays, like we'll just stay getting beat up. You know what I mean? Listen to the people. If they start coming for something, if they got you in a rear chin lock and the people start coming, give them something. You know what I mean? Like give them, fight up, hit the guy, have him bring you right back down, whatever, but reward them.
Feed them a little bit.
Yes. And use that. You can use that as a
they're listening to
as a wave. You know what I mean? Of like, and the next time I guarantee you it'll be twice as loud. The next time you start coming up, there'll be twice as many people doing it this time. And now I do a little boogie woogie man, and I may do a little worm into that.
Let's do a little rapid fire, all right?
Okay, here we
go. A little quick responses on it, a little bit.
Yep.
Best baby face you've ever been in the ring with?
Ricky Morton.
Who's the best baby face today?
I'm going to say Cody, but Punk's back, and people love Punk. Now, he is kind of the anti-hero, you know what I mean? But I believe the people believe he speaks for them, and that man, does that carry weight. And so, I don't know. When I look at Seth Rollins too, and I think he's doing his best work ever. I think he's a different kind of, he reinvented himself and is a different kind of character now and has the title. So there's a lot of good baby faces. I also love a good Daniel Bryan, who I don't know if he's a heel or a baby face, but he's always that little guy who will kick your ass. And that matters, because I don't know if you remember when Brock threw him on his head one time and the whole world thought he was out of wrestling again.
Correct.
And then he came back to kick Brock's ass a little bit before getting beat. And it was the best thing I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? He's the underdog, and he's that scrappy underdog who can carry his weight and then some. So I don't know. I probably Cody. I'm going to go with Cody.
What's one thing baby faces today need to do more of?
Be vulnerable. And I mean vulnerable emotionally. Everybody today is trying to be so cool. Everybody today is trying to be so tough. Like, again, I said it a million times. If
Cody
everybody's
does that really good.
Who does?
Cody.
Yeah, yeah.
He
He
does it
says
really well.
he talks to me in his promos, and he always catches me with something, even when I'm watching his promos in a judgmental manner, because I know for a fact he's going to come back through the curtain and go, "What did you think?" You know what I mean? Because that's the kind of guy he is. He wants to learn, he wants to hear, and he wants to grow as a businessman. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, he's the cream of the crop right now. But it's fun to watch the new guys come around, and like I said earlier, I feel like it's coming back to the good guy being the good guy. You know what I mean? And yeah, he looks like Homelander, but god darn, that's the good. It's awesome, right? He's in blonde hair and red, white, and blue, and you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, what's not to love, bro?
Last couple. We got 2 questions.
All right.
What's one old school babyface thing you don't see anymore, and you always thought was silly and happy it's gone?
Wow.
Well, that's deep.
That is deep, because I'd have to watch some. Like, do you have one off the top of your head that you can think of? Like, I don't either. But let me.
Is the America thing's kind of gone? I mean, it kind of works, but it's kind of gone.
Yeah, no. What's great though is I still heard like a USA chant break out the other night.
It still breaks out. Yeah,
and I forget who was in the ring, but it was literally like nobody in the ring was American. It was like a Canadian and an Irish guy and you know what I mean? And I remember thinking like they're chanting USA, and but you're right. That's kind of it's Zionist, right?
I mean, we should
looking
be.
at. Just because you're from so and so doesn't mean you're a bad guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. But honestly, dude, do you remember not long ago, Rusev on a roll, undefeated for a year, facing Cena at Mania, riding in on a tank? Dude, that was straight up Zionism. You know what I mean? Like he was the foreigner that had the pretty foreign girlfriend, and they were talking trash about America. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was the worst part of America and the best part of America.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I loved it and hated it. You know.
Yeah, me either. But at the same time,
to us.
you go like, okay, that's like everybody's not a bad guy who's from another country, you know.
Hey, look, when Sergeant Slaughter turned, we were pissed off, brother.
I was hot about it.
Pissed off.
I'm still kind of.
Yeah. Last but not least, Road Dogg yourself.
Oh.
Could you adapt to the current environment in the ring as a babyface? Because when you were a babyface, you, like we said, you were kind of a heel.
Grounded a little bit.
Think about New Age Outlaws now.
Today, yeah. Yes, I could be a babyface today. But I'll tell you why. Because of the promo, I could cut a good promo that would be relative to you in some way every time, and I would, and I can work good enough in my day, like, you know what I mean? Like I could do good enough to hang in there, but promo would get me over the edge, and I don't know. I think I'd be able to do it. I look at the guy who can't do the crap they did. I couldn't do it then. You know what I mean? But I don't think that's part of the prerequisite,
right,
of getting over. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do a backflip off the ring rope to the floor to get over. A lot of big fellas have proved that. You know what I mean?
All right, Dog, man, this was fun to hear your philosophy.
It's fun to me too, and I want to say this one last time. Like, it's just fun to me because it's just us talking about wrestling and my thoughts about wrestling and my ideas about wrestling, and right, wrong, or indifferent. You're gonna learn something from them, and I get goosebumps talking about it because it's what I love. It's my passion, and it's not going back and trying to remember a moment in time. It's talking more about the business as a whole and the progression or regression, if you think so, of the industry. Look, I know Jim Cornette would think that the industry is doomed and they've killed the business and all that, but we've never made more money in our lives. We talked about earlier the biggest domestic non-televised show in the history of America. You know what I mean? Like, we're doing pretty good. But like Jim Cornette, I too believe that everybody could just act a little more like it's real, You know what I mean? And I think there's a way to meet in the middle. You can be as fast paced and as high risk as you want to be, as long as we can put some reality in the midst of it. I think you can meet in the middle there. And again, this is just my opinion, man. Have fun with it.
Next week, Dog, we talk about Royal Rumble 2019.
Ooh.
You were involved there behind the scenes. Becky Lynch challenges for the SmackDown's women's title against Asuka. Miz and Shane McMahon team up to take on The Bar. Ronda Rousey defends the Raw Women's title against Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch inserts herself into the Women's Royal Rumble. Daniel Bryan defends the WWE title against AJ Styles. Brock Lesnar defends the Universal title against Fergal McDivitt.
Fergal.
And
you're a good man, Fergal.
Jeff Jarrett walks the aisle one more time in the Royal Rumble.
I will be danged.
Nia Jax enters as well.
Oh, I remember that. That was awesome.
Before it comes down to Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman, we'll talk about that. And in 2 weeks, Dog, we're going to be asking you more questions as it's time for the listeners to interact. Ask Dog anything.
All right.
Number 1 for 2024, our first one of the year. So be looking out when we
got to hit us up with some names of who to have for 15 minutes of flame.
Oh, yeah.
We know our producer will be looking, but you guys tell us who's hot in your neck of the woods.
Comment below who would you like to see in a future episode of 15 Minutes of Flame.
Yep.
And tell us in the comments below.
Yep.
Who's the best baby faces now?
Oh, yeah.
Cody is there. Who else? Tell us.
Who else? Who do you think? Because look, I named Daniel Bryan, but I don't really know any of the other baby faces in the other company. So I just kind of threw him in there just to be inclusive. But I'm sure there's a lot of guys over there that people are fans of and people think. So I'd love to hear who's the hottest baby fizz going right now.
And the guys and the girls, comment below your top 3, top 4 baby faces in wrestling right now. Doesn't matter which faction, which group they are in. Let us know in the comments for. Also, before we get out of here, we'd love to talk about your business. We'd love to talk about your event, your merchandise.
Let me sell your wares. You know what I mean?
Let him talk about your stuff.
Look at me, for the love of Pete.
If your business targets 25 to 54-year-old men, there's no better place to advertise than right here with us on Oh You Didn't Know. You've heard us do ads the entire length of the show with the same companies. Why?
Yep, because it works.
With our new super targeted audience, there's very little waste. So go to advertisewithdog.com. Find out more about how advertising with Oh You Didn't Know can help you out.
Listen, on now.
Like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating on all platforms. You could be our 5-star rating of the week next time. Follow us on Twitter. He's at Brian R.D. James. I'm at the Casio Kid. The show is at You Didn't Know Pod.
You didn't know. Sorry.
Watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications so you can know when we have our YTX.
We have our YTXs all the time, y'all. You can join on there and talk to me. I know I'm not that interesting, but I used to be somebody.
Also, all of our merchandise is found at boxofgimmicks.com, including all of our classics like I'm a Fergal McDivitt guy, whatever that may be. What's our... Oh, there it is.
There it is.
What's some of our newer stuff we got hawking these days?
Yeah, what are we hawking these days?
Hawking.
What are we shilling? You know what I saw? There it is. Ventura Club. I tell you what, there's 74 of that black and white one.
Not anymore. There's less. No.
Oh.
Black and white, we got all of them.
Oh, okay. My bad. The color ones are the 74.
We got 74. We got less than that, of course. They've been selling for a couple weeks now.
Yep.
They are very limited. Once we get a 74 for Ventura Club 74,
but I tell you what,
colorway is gone.
You want to get a girl? This is the way to do it.
Get the Ventura Club?
Ventura Club 74.
That's the way.
It's a sure way. And it's like using Sex Panther as a deodorant.
All right. Let's do a little top.
Look at there.
Oh,
so that's that hoodie, man. I got to get a black hoodie with mountain critters on it. I wear a 3X. How could somebody who knows my address send me one of those that says, like that dude I saw on social media that said,
did we have that picture?
He had a mountain critter shirt on with R-Truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and who else was he with?
Just them.
No, there was another one. He was with two people, and he had the tan mountain critters.
Oh,
And I
he
didn't
did a
think about
double meet and greet?
Yeah, I didn't think about the tan. Yeah, it might have been Cody. I think it was Cody and Truth.
Oh, I missed the Cody.
Yeah, and he's got a tan one that I thought, well, I would never wear a tan one, tan and yellow, but it looked really good. Like I was impressed. I thought, like, well, maybe I will wear a tan one. But yeah, anyway, I mean,
Dom, do you have it?
What?
Dom,
the social media picture?
Do something for some time.
You're getting worked up about this.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
Oh,
That's see the VIP experience. Or truth. When the mountain critters. Mountain critters.
That's Carl Hayes. Shout out to Carl, man.
Yep.
Thanks for getting that merch and thanks for wearing it to that
Yeah,
meeting.
thank you, man. That was awesome.
Appreciate you.
Yep.
As well. All right, we got a couple things we like to do before we get out of here. We got Top Dog in the Thankful Minute.
Okay.
Top Dog coming up first. Our producer Dom's going to hit us with 3 names. I'm going to read them to you. You have not heard them. You're going to tell us, are you a better sports entertainer than this person? Not a better wrestler.
Yeah.
Just a better sports
we got
entertainer.
Here we go.
Dog, are you a better sports entertainer than Jimmy Superfly Snooker?
Oh, man, look at him. He looked great, didn't he?
Boy, he is ripped right
He is
there,
ripped.
man.
He's had that torn tricep, you can tell, on his right arm.
Woo!
But damn, he looked good.
He did. Oh.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no.
No!
Yeah. Jimmy was over, man. He was over.
Man.
God darn, he was over.
I feel like
I
you did
loved
better
him. Like
promos
he would just chop you and just hold his hands there still, and you would like take a big bump. I loved watching him work.
All right. Are you a better sports entertainer than Fit Finlay?
Oh, negative. No.
Oh,
no.
That was fast.
Yes, that I'm saying no right away.
Look at him.
He'll beat you up. He will beat you up in ways that you don't know how you're getting beat up, but you're getting beat up. Yeah. Right now.
You still see him.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow he could do it to me. And it's like, so you just say no right up front and get it over with.
I can't believe our producer Dom did this. Here we go.
Oh, I can.
Can't wait to show the footage to him either. Are you a better sports entertainer than Jeff Jarrett?
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
But look at me there.
The sport right there. Best supporting actor right there, my friend.
Right there. That's best supporting actor material all day long.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not as good as Jeff. Yes, I may have beaten him a few times in wrestling, but he beat me a few times too. So our track record is like 2-2, I think. Jeff is people who know Jeff and who aren't a-holes know what he brings to the table. And so I can't compare to that.
He slapped me. His wife slapped me.
He did slap the
He
piss
slapped my
out of
friend
you.
Corey Forrester. I'm not buying it, man.
You don't like him?
No.
Well, you don't have to.
You're a better sports entertainer than him.
Thank you for saying that. I'm not going to say it myself.
The real Double J.
Oh, you going to let him say that, Jeff? You just, he's throwing up birds, dog.
Sorry. If you're just listening, you didn't get that, but that's a Double J
for
right
Jeff.
there.
That's for Double J.
Yeah, double bird.
Double Hote.
All right, let's end on positivity. That was the negativity, but we're going to end on positivity here. We like to spread that. We like to put 60 seconds on the clock. The thankful minute, we let you, Mr. Brian James, tell us what you're thankful for in your life, big, small, anywhere in between. What are you thankful for? Dom, put it up on the clock. Let him roll.
Well, so it was, it's really easy for me now. It was just the holiday season. We celebrate Christmas, and at my house, all my children, I have 3 kids, and they have, amongst the 3 of them, they have five children. So they're my grandkids. They were all under my roof for a short period of time, but for a period of time nonetheless. And to sit in my chair and have 3 grandboys, 2 years old, sitting on my lap and wrestling and playing and just being able to be in their presence and not be on dope and not be, somewhere else inside my head. I have the wherewithal to be present and to enjoy them. And for that, I thank God, because I thank God for getting me sober. I thank God for my healthy children, and I thank God for their healthy children. And they're a blessing. And so I got to sit inside of that bestowed blessing. That's what I'm thankful for.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Grandkids,
Amen.
baby.
Amen. Grandkids, dog. It's a different deal. And it's, my wife sent me pictures of them. They're at my house now. You know what I mean? Like,
who are you, Pawpaw?
Yeah, I'm Pawpaw. I'm Pawpaw. Yeah, I love it.
There we
Too.
go,
There's
man.
Pawpaw's that we maybe need a shirt that says that, because I'd wear it.
I'm a Pawpaw guy.
Yeah, Paws. But I love it, man. So, and I love you guys. I'm thankful for y'all too, that God put y'all in my life. And good happiness has come from it. You know what I mean? So
even Richard the Gimp?
No. Especially Richard the Gimp.
Okay,
okay. He brings me pleasure.
Yeah. Sit down.
I'll just leave it at that.
I'll just leave it at that. All right, brother. This has been a fun one.
Yes,
y'all like
has.
and subscribe, comment, let us know.
Maybe we'll get into being a heel.
Oh, and Royal Rumble is on deck for the WWE. So maybe we'll see some of you down there in Tampa.
I would love to see all y'all
next week. Either way, if you didn't like this show, we loved it. I loved hearing your philosophy on wrestling and Babyface, and it's just your opinion, but it's good.
Yeah.
Looking inside your brain for this thing we call wrestling.
Yeah,
I loved it. I hope y'all loved it. And if you didn't love it, we got 2 words for you.
Suck it.